So the Bears are going to have what looks like to be $80+ million in cap in the 2024 NFL offseason, along with 2 top 10 picks and a roster that's only a few pieces away from being the next big team. I am super pumped what Ryan Poles can do this offseason. So let's just take away 18 million of that potentially 80 million plus, because you're going to have a ton of rookies that you're going to have to pay. So now you're sitting at about 62 million so far. Still a ton of money. You don't have a legitimate quarterback situation. You know, Justin Fields does still have to prove himself, even though I think he is the guy. So you don't have that locked in yet, which is always a ton of cap money. You've already locked up a lot of your pieces for the next 3 to 4 years. And Ryan Poles loves to get good deals. So if you build the rest of the team around the quarterback situation and have the right coaches in place, this team can go very far. Also, the Bears can turn a lot of their current roster guys with big contracts like DJ Moore and Tremaine Edmonds into signing bonuses, saving even more cap. And one area that we'd love to see constant improvement with, like they've done this year, is the defensive line. And there are 2 guys that I think would put them over the top. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to this episode of Just Another Year Chicago. My name is Nick Brody, and as always, thank you for tuning in. Today, I am going to be hitting on Christian Wilkins from the Miami Dolphins and our recently discussed friend Chase Young, who is now part of the San Francisco 49ers and who hasn't signed an extension yet, so could be a free agent coming up here. And these are the 2 guys I want Ryan Poles to go after. I think both these guys are the answers in order to build a young, talented, elite defensive line that can help the Bears for a very long time. And if you think the same and want either guy, make sure to smash that like button in order to support the video and also other Bears fans around the entire YouTube world. On top of that, put your thoughts in the comments section on who you want the Chicago Bears to go after at the defensive line position in free agency. So let's start with Christian Wilkins. The 28-year-old 6'4", 310-pound defensive tackle currently playing for the Miami Dolphins would be a perfect pairing with Andrew Billings. In his 5th NFL season so far, he is currently ripping it up like he has done pretty much his entire career. With the Miami Dolphins over the last 5 seasons, he has 16 sacks with 328 total tackles, 38 tackles for loss, 39 quarterback hits, 19 pass deflections, 3 forced fumbles, 5 fumble recoveries, and 1 interception. For a defensive lineman, that is insane. In this year alone, he is going off. 4.5 sacks for 38 total tackles, 5 tackles for loss with 12 quarterback hits, 2 pass deflections, and 1 fumble recovery. He is also Mr. Reliable like Montez Sweat. He hasn't missed a game over the last 3 seasons, which makes him reliable. We know we can keep him on the field. He's consistent and puts out a good product. He gets after backfields at ease, which is huge for the Chicago Bears, as we need to continue to get pressure up the middle. The more pressure we have there, like Andrew Billings and Justin Jones are making right now for Chicago, it's going to help develop younger guys like Zach Pickens and Javon Dexter Sr., but also make us be number 1 in any sort of defensive rushing category and also create pressure on the quarterback. Wilkins definitely brings that, and I think that bringing him in on a 3-year contract, which is slightly above competitive pay, so you're looking about roughly over 14 million to 16 million a year for a defensive tackle, which is a lot. But you have an established player that's going to help develop younger players. You have a guy that gets in the backfield, stops offenses, and also, like I said, reliable. That's the number 1 thing that this team needs, especially with the injury bug that we've had this year. We need to eliminate that as soon as possible. So let's head on our second friend, the one that we've talked about a lot that we wanted at the trade deadline, Chase Young. So Ryan Poles really could be playing chess here. Chicago was rumored at the deadline to go after Chase Young over Montez Sweat. Instead, they went with Sweat, which has been a great addition so far for the Chicago Bears, and they already extended him on 4 years. Young, who ended up going to San Francisco, still hasn't signed an extension with the Niners yet, and he's looking like he's going to be a rental if they can't get that done, which is great news for the Chicago Bears, because if he becomes a free agent, Justin Fields' former teammate, Montez Sweat's former teammate, be a great pairing. So Poles would end up getting both Sweat and Young from the Commanders for only a 2nd round pick, and yes, having to use cap space, but he was going to have to pay Young anyway if he decided to keep him. And that's just straight chess. And I think Young would help make a monster rotation here in Chicago. So far this year, he has 5.5 sacks, which he had a strip sack, which was considered half a sack with Nick Bosa in his first game with the 49ers. 16 total tackles, 9 quarterback hits, and 6 tackles for loss on top of it. At only 24 years old, and if he can stay healthy, keep those legs strong, and not risk himself for any more injury moving forward, Young could be a veteran for a long time for the Chicago Bears, signing potentially multiple top contracts, helping with Super Bowl runs, and being the long-term kind of guy that we need. Again, I would sign him this time around to another 3-year competitive contract for a guy that can get into the backfield, create tackles for loss, create pressure on the quarterback, and just overall take this defense to another level. If Poles lands both these guys, we're looking at a hell of a defensive line, and I am super pumped about it. And make sure to put your thoughts in the comment section below about what you would want to do in free agency with the defensive line position. But with that, thank you very much for joining this episode of Just Another Year Chicago. My name is Nick Rhodey, and as always, bear down.